What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new commentary video. As always, thank you for clicking on the video, and if you are interested, feel free to stick around by subscribing and press that like button. It helps out a ton. And also, I just want to mention really quickly that down in the description, there's a new link. This link is a Google form that is anonymous for life advice. If you want to leave a suggestion or something that you want to hear me talk about, you just don't feel comfortable about talking about it in a comment section or telling me directly, you can post it there on the form and I will get to it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into things. I guess also I should give a little fair warning. Today's topic is going to be a bit more heavy, and I just kind of want to talk about it because I was reading an article this morning as I was using the bathroom, and like I do a lot of the morning, and I was reading it, and it was a really sad story that was about prevention. And the reason why it made it so sad is that in the article, they were talking about a young man that, tragically took his own life. And the article was full of conversations with his friends, and they talked about how they already missed him and how much he meant to them and how they described him. And the reason why it was so heartbreaking is because they kind of talked a little bit about sort of some of his struggles. And they talked about how he felt that his friends wouldn't miss him. And it made me think about when I had the similar kind of thoughts. It's a hard thing to realize, but I'm going to say it anyways. They will miss you. Your friends are absolutely going to miss you. Your family's going to miss you. Everybody's going to miss you in your life. And that's the thing that a lot of people get hung up on, is that when it comes to these thoughts of, ending things, they have this idea that nobody cares about them, that nobody's going to miss them. And in reality, that's not true. Unfortunately, I've seen it, where people either pass away tragically or they take their own lives and they're missed. And I think that while it is really hard to realize, you need to remember that people are always thinking about you. And I want to mention that for a couple different reasons. I want to remind everybody to reach out to their friends. I try to reach out to my friends pretty often. Friends that I haven't either talked to in a while or friends that I do talk with often. I mean, even somebody like Noah, who I talk to nearly daily, every once in a while I'm like, hey, you doing good, brother? Because I know what it's like to feel alone. When you feel alone, it is the worst feeling in the world. And it's easy to fall into the trap to feel that nobody cares about you and that nobody's thinking about you. But people think about a lot of different people all the time. And you do it too. If you're somebody that's struggling, think about how often you think about somebody that you love, somebody that you used to love. Now picture your friends, man. You probably think about stories with your friends all the time, and they're thinking about you too. Even friends that I haven't talked to in a while. Me and my friends, a lot of times we tell stories about our friend Devin, who we haven't spoke to in like 2 years. Well, more than that. I mean, we texted him like 2 years ago, but like somebody that we haven't hung out with in like 4. We'll talk about him every once in a while and be like, I wonder what he's up to. I wonder how he's doing. And your friends are going to think the same about you, no matter where you're at in your life. And I think that a lot of people get this idea that they are alone in the world. And it's easy to feel that way. But you're not. You always have somebody there for you. Like, there is always going to be somebody there to lean on sometimes. And, I think that there's also this idea as a man, a lot of people feel like they can't reach out to people. And you absolutely can. Like, I've had friends reach out to me when they were struggling, or I've reached out to friends when I'm struggling. You shouldn't feel ashamed to have to reach out, because a lot of us, especially if you're a little older than I am, you were trained to not reach out. You were trained to not show your feelings. And I think that is a tragic thing that we are still suffering from to this day. There are still people that are told that they cannot share their feelings. They're still told that their feelings are invalid simply based off of their gender. And it sucks. And truthfully, it sucks. The older that you get, the more you kind of realize it. How much of our society is based around this idea that men can't show their feelings, that men have to struggle in silence, right? Because we're supposed to be the strong guys. We're supposed to be the providers. And while it's hard to realize it, you got to be able to break free from that, because not being able to break free is what's going to hurt you in the end. If you realize that, I can't share my feelings, I'm just going to hide in my shell for the rest of my life, unfortunately, you're going to struggle a lot. And you're going to have these thoughts that if I'm gone, nobody's going to miss me. And the truth is that they are going to miss you. But you also need to have the strength to reach out, because if you sit there and hide in your own skin, you sit there and you cry yourself to sleep every night, it's not going to be easy to break free, because you haven't gone through the motions of reaching out. You haven't gone through the motions of talking to friends. You haven't gone through the motions of speaking with family. And it's a hard thing to learn to do, but a really important thing to learn to do. When I was struggling, I didn't want to talk to anybody. When I was struggling, it was like, man, it was a dark time in my life. I felt like my friends wouldn't miss me if I disappeared tomorrow. Those were thoughts that I had. I had these ideas that my friends hated me. I had this idea that they didn't really like me, that they didn't want to be around me. That wasn't the case. My friends thought I was a great guy, and they thought I was funny, and that I was going to be something. I kind of look back on who I was back then and how much I was just hiding my emotions. And it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think just how much what I was holding down and what I was dealing with by myself. And I'll never forget when I did start reaching out and I did start expressing my feelings, life got a lot easier. And at first, it's going to seem impossible. It's going to feel like the world's crumbling down now that I've let out these emotions. I feel like I'm at the lowest at my point. And if you're feeling that way, it's probably because you were taught to not show those feelings and you don't know what it's like to share those feelings. And after you start sharing those feelings a little bit, you're going to start feeling better. You're going to be able to start working through what's ever bothering you. But simply hiding it and believing that nobody cares about you isn't the solution. It's part of the recipe to create depression. It's part of the recipe to continue those thoughts. It's on my list. Some of the major things I have on my list are like, bad diet, fucking lack of exercise, and, take away sunshine. And relationships. Like, you take away those things and that's like the recipe for depression. And I don't know, man. Like, I know a lot of guys that are afraid to reach out. And I've had these conversations with friends and stuff. It's like, dude, you can't be afraid to reach out. Like, we all care about you. And like, we are all struggling in our own ways, and we're all here for each other. Those late night Xbox chats get real sometimes, they get into places where we're like, damn, bro, we are talking about some deep shit. We're talking about our futures. We're talking what we want our families to look like. Like, we're talking about shit that's pretty deep. But if you're not ready to share those feelings, you're not going to be able to share those feelings. You have to learn to grow and embrace those feelings. Because if you simply just keep pushing them down, you just push yourself deeper and you're not able to improve. And it's just going to create this feedback loop where you're going to learn to hide your feelings more and more. And it's not a positive experience. And it leads you down a dark path. And, I remember the first time that I reached out and the first time that I really started trying to work through these feelings. And it was like one of the worst things I ever did. And it like genuinely felt like I was going to collapse and that I wanted to die right then and there just for sharing those feelings. And let me tell you, I'm glad that I did, because it helped me learn to open up and be honest with my feelings with people around me. And I'm still not the best at it. I a lot of the times deal with things in a negative way, especially after I moved out and I don't really live with my parents anymore. Like, definitely I've gotten kind of bad about that again. But like, I've had conversations with like Vaughn and Noah and stuff where, where it's gotten to some deep places. And, I think it helps a lot to just speak and like know that you have friends there. But, and it's hard to do, but I promise you it's worth it, man. And, that's really just what I wanted to talk about today, is because, when I read these stories and people talk about how nobody's going to miss them, I've been through it and I still find it crazy how I thought that. And I don't want you to think that, because it's not true. Like, do you really want your mom to have to live with that burden too? And it's really hard to say, but like, it's kind of the truth, man. And, so just remember, don't be afraid to reach out to your friends. And also, if you are doing good, still reach out to your friends, man, and let them know that you're here for them. Because you never know who's struggling in your friend group. You literally never know. Depression comes in all shapes and sizes, and it does not discriminate. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope that you enjoyed. And don't forget to check out the Google form if you would like to submit a question anonymously, as always. And thank you guys for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. So see you around.
Never the
Peace.
one that would skip class, never the puff when the piff pass. So me and the rap is a mismatch, right? Your stereotype got me feeling uptight. I've been wanting to fight. I've been up every night as I write and I write. I've been looking for light in the darkest of night. It's a bit of a pipe dream, that's what they told me. If I listened to your dumb ass, I'd regret it as the old me.